Today we're going to be heading to a museum. Gonna go find a Banksy and see how much art we can make in Bristol. We're here in my favourite city, starting off with the cathedral. I've actually never been in here before, but I'm always drawn to these kind of buildings because, like, look at these windows, look at the ceilings. However, when it comes to drawing them, I don't even know where you'd begin. But we've actually created a lot of drawings in cathedrals. Well, one. We went to Gloucester in a previous episode and created art all around the corridors of Hogwarts, one of the locations where Harry Potter was filmed. I'm actually filming this video one day after that video in Gloucester. So whilst it's lovely to have a look around, I want to find something different, like this. The outside of the cathedral with that cute little chair. Ignore how wet and rainy it is outside. I've got the little sketchbook out and the free colour pencils that we bought in the previous episode. But really, we're just starting with a warm-up. We've got a busy day planned, lots of sights to see, lots of new places to visit, and lots of different mediums to use. So for now, we're keeping it simple and using colour pencils and sketching what we see. This really is the best way to warm up and get in the swing of things so that later on we can actually stylize and hopefully it will feel a little bit more natural. This really is something that I should do more often. I always do it when we're outside filming these How Much Art Can I Make videos, but I never do it inside. I never do it when I'm actually creating a big painting, like all of the characters we created inspired by star signs. Unfortunately, when I'm filming in the studio, there just isn't very much lighting. So I have to work with the sun and race to get it done before the sun sets. Though I am loving how the art studio is coming along. It took 8 months to create, but we're finally there, and that huge video is out now. I'll leave it below if you haven't seen it. It's crazy, but we did it. But the best thing about creating art outside like this is that you're generally not fighting against the sunlight, though it does take a little bit of a turn later, as you'll find out. And how cute is this colour palette looking? All 3 colours are pink, but they're lovely muted, slightly peachy shades. Today, we're going to be creating a ton of art, so we need to work quickly. This sketch here took about 15 minutes, but I don't know how many pieces we're going to be able to create today. What do you think? Why don't you have a guess down below? And just like that, we've completed the first drawing. So now I'm just going to go for a quick wander, have a little nose around this new location, and I have no clue how I would actually approach a room like this. Like, how do you draw this? There's so much going on. And then our cute little wander got interrupted because they started a service and we had to awkwardly walk down past everyone. This has been really cool. Should we go find Banksy's art? Pretending to look at this map like I didn't just pick it up because it was free, and I'm definitely going to be using it for journaling. This is the Banksy piece. There are actually quite a few Banksy pieces dotted around Bristol because he used to live here, and graffiti is actually kind of respected in Bristol, even though this one did sadly get vandalised. Still, I'm going to attempt to draw it using one water-based marker, standing in the middle of a street, the very busy high street with a ton of people around, and I'm now realizing how crazy this was. Why did I think I could do this? Well, I've grabbed the colour pencil now to try and define some lines. I mean, I was kind of hoping for a silhouette because I think that's the only real way to approach this with a marker. And you know what? I think the colour pencil might have saved it just a little bit. You can kind of tell that they are people, but this one took just a few minutes, and it's more about the location and the memory than what we're actually creating on the side of a busy road. Can you believe that actually kind of went well? And next up on our trip, we're heading to the museum and art gallery. I've actually never been here before. I tried to once, but it was closed. So I don't know what we're gonna find. We're both going on this little adventure together. And for the next piece, I want to find something super quick that we can draw, just to get that third drawing under our belt. But this one did not go to plan. I found this statue of Anubis that looks pretty simple, so we're gonna give this a try. It kind of looks like a cat. Unfortunately, my one kind of looks like a dog. But you know what it's like, if you try and create something quick and make it look simple, a lot of the time it just looks trash. And that's what happened here. I loosely colored it in to hide some of the mistakes, and then loosely added line work, and this is what we've got. Well, that was a humbling experience. Let's go have a wander.
Lately in the summer, all the hearts are letting on. Baby, can't you see? Baby, can't you see that it's a lot to hold on to? A couple dreams, but I want you back. But I want you so bad. So say
This painting by Thomas Gainsborough really caught my eye. It's a simple portrait, but I think I can do a lot with it. I think this person might look really good in my art style. Obviously, I'm just standing up in the middle of a museum with 2 color pencils, so it's not the best representation of that. But you know what? This is actually one of the quieter areas of the museum, so I'm having a lot of fun. And we're also back on portraits. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to draw any portraits in the previous 2 How Much Art Can I Make episodes. I mean, first we went to Gloucester and no people popped up, and then we went to the woods and there weren't really people there either, not people that I could draw. And before that we went to the zoo, and it would be a little bit weird if we went to the zoo and then I drew a person, so obviously I just did animals. So honestly, I'm having a lot of fun with this. Portraits are my comfort zone. They are what I really enjoy, and I'm loving how this sketch is turning out. I'm not sure it's super close to the original, and I'm kind of taking it as an interpretation, drawing this person in my own art style, inspired by Gainsborough. You know, I might be biased because I love creating portraits, but I think this might just be my best ever piece in this whole series. I'm a little bit biased though, and it was at this point that I remembered I bought a gel pen. So let's add in some highlights for the finishing touches. And now Anne Laybourne is complete. So let's continue our stroll around the art gallery and have a look at these definitely not terrifying paintings. I've actually really not been to that many art galleries. My first one was in Rome just a few years ago. And come to think of it now, I think I've actually drawn in every single museum I've ever visited. Obviously, a lot of that is linked to content. I have filmed shorts and main videos, but I have also done it and not filmed at all. I don't know, I just think there's something really relaxing about drawing in a museum, and if you haven't tried it, I completely recommend. Although maybe not this part. I guess I am now drawing porcelain because I thought that would be a good idea, but it's very angular and the shapes kind of need to be correct. But obviously I can't do a sketch underneath, we have to go straight in with the lines. So it's completely wrong, as you can see. Perspective, there is none. There are patterns. They're all incorrect. The handle doesn't exist. The spout doesn't even fit on the page properly. So yeah, I would say that everything is wrong with this drawing. But you know what? It's the thought that counts. I tried. Kind of, I guess. I mean, I was standing up, so the angle was constantly changing. But I don't really have any other excuses. It's just bad. you believe how many pieces we've made so far? I would like to do a watercolor, and I really want to get some food and a drink because I'm starving. So let's head out. Okay, I just want to quickly say, look how cool this painting is. It's one of my favorites, and there were a ton of rocks. Like, look at all these rocks. Look how weird these rocks are. It looks like something from Alien. And fossils. I think now I'm a lot more interested in the art because we kind of raced through this section. But I will say, look how big that fossil is. That's a cool fossil. Quickly grabbed some lunch and now... How perfect is this location to do a plein air painting? The sun is out, let's go find a spot. Firstly, how cool is this location? I think this is going to be perfect for plein air. If I was sketching, it might be a little bit more difficult to fit everything in. But with watercolor, I think it's a cool location. However, oh boy, was this windy. I don't know if you can really tell from the footage because it's looking lovely and sunny, but I caved. I had to put a jacket on, and that still wasn't enough. It was so cold and so windy, and I think the sun is very deceptive right now. It's not quite getting it across. When it comes to painting outside, I follow a pretty standard routine, which I have actually explained in the 6 plein air painting tips for beginners video, which I'll leave down below if you want to check that out. But I do have a routine. First, I go in with pencil, just block in all of the shapes. Then I grab a waterproof fine liner, add the line work, add the details, which then means I can rub out all of those pencil lines before going in with watercolor. Don't get me wrong, if I was in the art studio, I would be using wet on wet this entire way through, but because it's sunny and we're outside and it's very windy, this paper is drying super quick. That is one of the biggest challenges with painting outside. I mean, other than the crazy wind and the fact that I didn't bring any clips to clip the paper down, that was a mistake. And the fact that it started raining a little bit whilst I was painting this, that was a disaster, but we're making it work. I've sat down and I've started it now. We're gonna finish it. With this painting, we're really not going for realism, partly because we're working quickly, and this is a different setup. We're not gonna get the same results as what we would if we're painting inside, but also because it's freezing cold, very windy, starting to rain. The pages are flapping about everywhere. I cut a lot of it out, and that meant that I had to fold the book in half, work on one side, and then hold it in a certain place, trying not to get paint all over me to then paint on the other side. I have never done a plein air like this before. Would not recommend. But it was that, or the book just flying about everywhere. At least this way, if the paint goes anywhere, it will go on me. When the pages were flying everywhere, they closed onto each other and then ruined the other side. So we're not doing that. And today is definitely not a day for realism. Not in the 30 minutes that I was sat there getting attacked by the wind. That is not happening. This is the worst weather I've ever had plein air painting. And I've painted in the rain. That video is actually on my channel. That was a big disaster too. This one was just very cold and very windy. It was not nice. You know what though? The painting's turning out pretty cute. I love these episodes and I want to film more, especially now that I have a microphone. It's super exciting and I'd love to get your ideas. Where should we go next? I have a few in mind, but I'd love to know what you'd like to see in this series. Where should we go next? You would not believe how cold and windy it is. I don't know if you can really tell because it's so lovely and sunny, but that was the hardest plein air I've ever done. Like, all things considered, I think it turned out okay, but it was so windy. We've got quite a few marks where the pages just like flew into the other and transferred paint, but I think it looks okay. It's time to do today's daily doodle diary, and I have no clue what we're gonna do. Maybe we'll do that view. Shall we use the 4 jumbo pencils? I think this one might be all done. It's so cold. Well, I don't know about you, but I think we've created a lot of art today. We visited so many different places as well. If you've enjoyed this one, make sure to check out the playlist down below. We get up to a lot of exciting stuff. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.